I worked for months to buy my mother a gold ring, but she handed it to my sister and said she earned it more than me, and in that heartbreaking moment I realized I was invisible to her. 3 days ago I had everything: a woman who loved me unconditionally, a home we built together, wedding plans, a future that felt solid and real. Now I have nothing. Her name is Sarah. Was Sarah. I don't know what to call her anymore. We've been together 8 years. 8 years of inside jokes and Sunday morning pancakes and fighting about whose turn it is to take out the trash. 8 years of her believing I was someone worth loving. I wasn't. It happened at my buddy Jake's bachelor party. Not the bachelor party itself, that was just drinks and terrible karaoke. It happened after, when everyone else went home and I was 2 to drive. 2 to make good decisions. 2 to remember that I had someone at home who trusted me completely. Her name was Ashley, bartender at the place we ended at, blonde. Pretty smile. Kept giving me free drinks and laughing at my jokes. The kind of attention that felt intoxicating when I was 5 drinks deep and my ego was hungry for it. I told it was harmless flirting. Just conversation. Just being friendly. That's what I told when I gave her my number. That's what I told when I stayed until closing time. That's what I told when she asked if I wanted to see her apartment. 20 minutes. That's how long it took to destroy 8 years. 20 minutes of selfish weakness that I can never take back. I came home at 4 a.m. Sarah was asleep on the couch, still in her work clothes, surrounded by wedding magazines. She'd been planning our future while I was busy destroying it. When she woke, she smiled at me. That sleepy, trusting smile that used to make my chest feel warm. How was the party, baby? I lied. Of course I lied. Told her it was fine, that I missed her, that I loved her. All true things mixed with the biggest lie I'd ever told. She my cheek and said she was glad I was home safe. That was Monday. Tuesday I couldn't eat. Couldn't focus at work. Kept thinking about calling Ashley, about what happened, about how I could pretend it never did. Sarah noticed I was off but attributed it to wedding stress. She was so understanding, so patient. So completely unaware that her world was about to implode. We don't have to have a big wedding if it's stressing out, she said, rubbing my shoulders while I sat staring at my laptop. We could elope. Just us. What matters is that we're together. Together. The word felt like in my chest. Wednesday morning Ashley texted me. Just a simple, fun the other night, with a winking emoji. I stared at that message for an hour. I could have deleted it. Could have blocked her number. Could have told Sarah everything right then and begged for forgiveness. Instead I texted back. We met for coffee. I told I was going to end it, to make it clear it was a mistake that couldn't happen again. But Ashley was everything Sarah wasn't in that moment: exciting, dangerous, new. She made me feel like the person I used to be before mortgages and wedding planning and the comfortable routine of long-term love. We talked for 2 hours. She told me about her art degree, her dreams of opening a gallery, her complicated relationship with her ex. I told her about my job, my hobbies, but I didn't mention Sarah. For 2 hours I pretended I was single. For 2 hours I got to be someone else. When she me in the parking lot I didn't pull away. That night, Sarah showed me the save, the date she designed. Our names printed together in elegant script, surrounded by the lilies she loved. She was so excited, so proud of her work. What do you think? I can change the font if don't like it. I said they were perfect. Because they were. Because everything about our together was perfect and I was the only broken thing in it. Thursday, I met Ashley again. This time at her apartment. I told I was just gonna talk, to explain that I couldn't keep doing this. But the moment I walked through her door, all my resolve crumbled. This time lasted longer than 20 minutes. Friday morning, Sarah woke early to make me breakfast before work. Pancakes in the shape of hearts because she's the kind of person who does things like that. The kind of person who deserves better than me. She was humming while she cooked, already dressed for her job at the elementary school where she teaches 3rd grade. 28 kids who adore her, who draw her pictures and sate her seats at lunch. She has this way with children, this natural warmth that makes them feel safe and loved. She was going to be such a good mother. I was thinking, she said, sliding the plate across the counter, maybe we could start trying after the wedding. I know we talked about waiting a few more years, but I'm ready if our. The fork felt heavy in my hand. The pancakes tasted like ash. That sounds great. I lied. She beamed at me, that radiant smile that first made me fall in love with her in college. Back when I was worthy of it. I left for work and immediately called in sick. Spent the day driving around, trying to figure out how I'd become the kind of person who could lie to the face of someone who loved them unconditionally. By evening, I'd made my decision. I was going to tell her everything. Come clean, beg for forgiveness, do whatever it took to make this right. I practiced the words in my car sitting in our driveway, watching her move around our kitchen through the window. I walked in ready to confess. Sarah was on the phone with her mom talking wedding details. When she saw me, her face lit. He's home. Yeah, I'll ask him. She covered the phone. My mom wants to know if groomsmen can wear navy instead of black. She thinks it'll photograph better. Such a small thing. Such a normal, everyday relationship conversation. But in that moment, the weight of what I'd done, of what I was about to destroy, hit me like a truck. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say the words that would break her heart and shatter our together. So I said navy was fine, her forehead, and went to take a shower where she couldn't see me fall apart. That was yesterday. This morning, everything changed. I woke to Sarah shaking me, her face pale, her hands trembling. My phone was in her hands. Ashley's name was on the screen with a message I hadn't seen yet. Can't stop thinking about Thursday. When can I see again? The room went silent except for the sound of my world ending. Who is Ashley? Sarah's voice was barely a whisper. I had 2 choices, keep lying or tell the truth. Both felt impossible. Both felt like sentences. I chose the truth. Finally, stupidly, devastatingly too late, I told her everything. About Monday night, about the coffee, about Thursday. I watched her face change with every word, watched the light in her eyes dim and watched 8 years of love turn to disgust and betrayal, and so deep I could see it breaking her in real time. She didn't scream. She didn't throw things. She just sat there on our bed, in the pajamas I bought her for Christmas, and cried the kind of tears that come from somewhere deeper than sadness. The kind that come from the complete destruction of trust. 8 years, she said. 8 years, and it away for some woman barely know. Sarah, don't. She stood, wiping her face. Don't dare try to explain this away. Don't dare make excuses. She was right, there were no excuses. No explanations that could make this okay. I need to leave, she said. I need to pack some things and leave right now. So I did. Some clothes in a bag while she sat in the living room, staring at those the dates we'd never send. I wanted to say something, anything, but what do say to someone whose heart just ripped out? I've been driving around for 6 hours now. Called 3 hotels, all booked. My parents live 4 hours away, and I can't face telling them what I've done. My friends, God, they're gonna find out. Everyone's gonna find out. Jake's getting married next month. Sarah was supposed to be my +1. Now she'll probably never speak to me again, and I'll be the cautionary tale people whisper about at the reception. Remember when we thought they were perfect together? Remember how happy they seemed? Just goes to show never really know someone. I keep replaying Thursday in my head. Not that that's already fading like a bad dream. But the moment right before when I had a choice. When I could have said no, could have left, could have chosen the woman who loved me over a stranger who meant nothing. I chose wrong. I chose the worst possible thing, and now I have to live with it forever. My phone keeps buzzing with texts from Sarah's friends and family. Word travels fast in a small town. Her sister Emma already called me a piece of garbage. Her dad, who taught me how to fish and called me son, sent a single message: "Don't contact us again." The worst part is they're right, I am garbage. I am exactly the kind of person parents warn their daughters about. 20 minutes of selfish pleasure and I've lost everything that mattered. The woman I love, our home, our future, our families, our friends, all of it gone. And for what? For Ashley, who's probably already forgotten my name. For the thrill of feeling wanted by someone new. For the temporary escape from responsibility. None of it was worth it. Nothing could have been worth this. I need to find somewhere to sleep tonight, but I don't know where. I don't know how to exist in a world where Sarah isn't part of I don't know how to be the villain in a story where I used to be the hero. But I guess that's what I am now. The cheater. The betrayer. The guy who had everything and it away. The guy who's about to learn that some mistakes can't come back from. I'm writing this from a motel room that smells like cigarettes and broken dreams. The kind of place that charges by the hour and doesn't ask questions. Fitting, I guess. It's been 3 days since Sarah kicked me out. 3 days of living in my own personal, and I'm starting to realize that what happened in my last post was just the beginning. Small towns don't keep secrets. Especially not secrets this juicy. I found that out Monday morning when I walked into the coffee shop I've been going to for 5 years. The same place where Sarah and I had our first date. Where we used to sit every Sunday morning reading different sections of the paper and stealing bites of each other's pastries. The moment I walked in, the entire place went quiet. Not movie quiet, but that uncomfortable hush that happens when everyone's trying to pretend they weren't just talking about. Jenna, the owner, looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her shoe. This is a woman who used to save us the good muffins and ask about our wedding plans. We're actually closed for cleaning, she said, even though there were clearly customers inside drinking coffee. I stood there for a moment, watching people I've known for years avoid eye contact. Mrs. Patterson from the grocery store actually turned her back to me. Tom from the hardware store shook his head in disgust. That's when it hit me, they all knew. Every single person in this town of 8,000 people knew what I'd done. I left without saying a word. Work was worse. I've been at the same accounting firm for 6 years. These people have been to my birthday parties. I've been to their kids' graduations. We're not just co-workers, we're friends. Or we were. My boss, Patricia, called me into her office first thing. She's in her 60s, married to the same man for 40 years, the kind of person who still believes in doing the right thing. I'm gonna be direct with, she said, not offering me a seat. Sarah's mother called me this morning. She wanted me to know what kind of person I have working for me. My stomach dropped. Sarah's mom, Linda, who used to invite me to family dinners and bought me birthday presents. Who hugged me when my grandfather died and said I was like a son to her. Can't tell what to do in personal, Patricia continued, but this is a small town. Our reputation matters. And right now having here is problematic. She didn't fire me. Legally she probably couldn't. But she made it clear that my future at the firm was questionable at best. The rest of the day was a gauntlet of whispered conversations that stopped when I walked by, of people I used to joke with suddenly becoming very busy whenever I approached. My cubicle neighbor, Marcus, who I've had lunch with twice a week for 3 years, actually moved to a different desk. By noon, I was eating my sandwich in my car, hiding like a criminal. But the worst was yet to come. That evening I decided to grab dinner at Rico's, the Mexican place where Sarah and I used to go for date nights. I know, it was to think I could just go back to normal places and normal routines. But I was hungry and tired and not thinking clearly. I was halfway through my burrito when I heard her voice. Gotta be kidding me. Emma, Sarah's younger sister. The one who used to tease me about being too good for her sister. The one who asked me to walk her down the aisle at her own wedding because her dad had to. Sarah. She was with 2 of her friends, and they were all staring at me with the kind of hatred usually reserved for war criminals. Have no shame, Emma said, her voice getting louder. Other diners were starting to stare. Cheated on my sister who loved more than her own, and just out here eating burritos like nothing happened. I put down my food. My hands were shaking. Emma, don't dare say my name. She was crying now, angry tears that made her mascara run. Don't get to say my name. Don't get to exist in the same stasis as decent people. One of her friends was filming with her phone. Great. Now my public humiliation would be preserved for posterity. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. Emma continued, and every word hit like a physical. She can't sleep. She can't function. She's taken a leave of absence from school because she can't face those kids asking where her ring went. Her ring. The engagement ring I'd saved for months to buy. The ring that represented promises I'd broken before I even had the chance to make them official. Those kids love her, Emma said. They were so excited about Miss Sarah's wedding. They'd been making her cards and asking if they could come. Now she has to explain to 28 third graders why sometimes adults lie and break hearts. The restaurant had gone completely silent now. Everyone was watching this woman destroy me in public, and nobody was stepping in to stop it because they all thought I deserved it. They were right. Wanna know what the worst part is? Emma's voice cracked. She still loves. Even now, even after what did, she's heartbroken because she still loves. And that makes me sick. She left without another word, her friends following behind while me looks that could have melted steel. I sat there for another 10 minutes, staring at my half-eaten burrito while the entire restaurant whispered about me. When I finally got to leave, the silence was deafening. Tuesday was somehow worse. I tried to go grocery shopping at the place where Sarah and I always went. The same store where we'd argue about which cereal to buy and where she'd sneak cookies into the cart when she thought I wasn't looking. I made it exactly 3 aisles before running into Sarah's cousin Mike. Mike who'd asked me to be in his fantasy football league. Mike who'd helped me pick out Sarah's engagement ring. He didn't say a word. Just looked at me with pure disgust, shook his head, and walked away. But then I heard him talking to someone around the corner. Can't believe that piece of garbage has the nerve to show his face in public. If I was Sarah's dad, I'd have beaten him senseless by now. I abandoned my cart and left. Later that day, I found out why Mike mentioned Sarah's dad. My phone rang around dinner time, unknown number. This is Robert, Sarah's father. The man who taught me to change a tire and fix a leaky faucet. Who'd shaken my hand when I asked for his daughter's hand in marriage and said he couldn't think of anyone better for his little girl. His voice was cold, controlled, dangerous. I'm calling to tell that if I see anywhere near my daughter, anywhere near my family, anywhere near my granddaughter's school where Sarah works, there will be consequences. Robert is not a big man, but he's the kind of quiet, steady guy don't want to cross. The kind who's never raised his voice to anyone but would move heaven and earth to protect his family. Do I make clear? Yes, sir. He hung without another word. That night I called my own parents. I hadn't told them what happened yet, and I figured they deserved to hear it from me before someone else told them. My mother cried. Actually cried. How could do this? She asked through her tears. We're raised better than this. Sarah is such a good girl. We love her like our own daughter. My father was quieter, but somehow that was worse. Mother and I need some time to process this, he said finally. We'll talk to when we're ready. They haven't called back. Wednesday brought a new humiliation. I was getting gas when Jake pulled at the pump next to me. Jake, whose bachelor party started this whole nightmare. Jake, who was supposed to be my best man. Dude, what the? He looked genuinely confused, like he couldn't reconcile the person he knew with what I'd done. Ashley told everyone what happened. She's bragging about it at work, saying she broke engagement. My went cold. Ashley was bragging. The 20 minutes that destroyed my was a trophy to her. She didn't break anything, I said. I did that all by. Man, I feel responsible. If I hadn't had that party. No. I stopped him right there. Don't dare blame for my choices. I did this. Nobody else. Jake nodded, but I could see the pity in his eyes and something else. Distance. The knowledge that our friendship was probably over. Look, about the wedding. He started. I know. Can't have me in the wedding party. I get it. It's not just that. Sarah was supposed to do her wedding. Now Melissa doesn't know what to do. The whole thing is awkward because everyone knows what happened. Another casualty. Jake and his fiancée Melissa, who were now stuck in the middle of my mess. Who had to figure out how to celebrate their love while navigating the fallout from my betrayal. I'll skip the whole thing, I said. Make it easier for everyone. Yeah, Jake said quietly. That's probably best. That afternoon, I ran into Sarah's best friend Claire at the bank. Claire, who'd been helping plan our wedding. Who'd thrown Sarah a surprise birthday party last year and made sure I was hiding in the right closet to out. She didn't yell at me like Emma had. She did me like Robert had. She just looked at me with the deepest sadness I'd ever seen. She's not eating, Claire said simply. She's not sleeping. She's not talking to anyone. Broke a know that. Completely broke her. Claire, I'm not done. Her voice was steady but I could see her hands shaking. She asked me to box all stuff. 8 years of things mixed in with hers, and now I have to help her erase from her. The image of Sarah and Claire going through our shared belongings, deciding what was mine and what was ours was almost too much to bear. She kept finding things, Claire continued. Little things forgotten about. A book bookmarked, a coffee mug claimed, a sweatshirt left on her side of the bed. Every discovery was like losing all over again. I was crying now. Right there in the bank lobby I was falling apart. The worst part is the wedding dress, Claire said. She'd picked it out 2 months ago but never told because she wanted it to be a surprise. Now it's in her closet like a ghost of what could have been. She paused, letting that sink in. Need to understand something. Sarah didn't just lose her boyfriend. She lost her future. She lost the she'd planned. She lost faith in love itself. She's 26 years old, and made her believe that maybe she's not worth being faithful to. That's not true, I whispered. Isn't it? Because that's what she thinks now. That's what taught her. Claire left me there, crying in public for the second time in 3 days. That night alone in my motel room I tried to process everything that had happened. In less than a week I'd lost not just Sarah but my community, my friends, my reputation, my family's respect. All for 20 minutes with someone who was now bragging about ruining my. I thought about calling Sarah. I had things I wanted to say, apologies I needed to make. But Robert's warning echoed in my head, and I knew that anything I had to say would only make things worse for her. So I sat there in that terrible motel room, scrolling through photos on my phone. Pictures of Sarah and me at Christmas, on vacation at friends' parties. Pictures of it that felt like it belonged to someone else now. In every single photo, she was looking at me like I hummed the moon, like I was the best thing that had ever happened to her. I used to be proud of that look, used to think I deserved it. Now I know I never did. The hardest part isn't the public shame or the lost friendships or even the loneliness. The hardest part is knowing that somewhere across town, the best person I've ever known is questioning her own worth because of what I did. The hardest part is knowing that I took someone who believed in love and happy endings and fairy tales, and I taught her that none of it is real. And I can never, ever fix that.